Good morning. Welcome to a full day in the life. Always goes in pre-fasted cardio along with Glen in my T4 Bravaro. Just to speed the process up, and then we hit fasted cardio after 5 minutes. So we've had the coffee, had the fat burners, and now we're into fasted cardio. Right, meal one, get into it. So I'm getting fucking started. Full day in the life with Bray. Aren't you all lucky? Just finished cardio. Gonna have a meal now, into a shower, check-ins. You're gonna see the real hustle of an online coach. So the day usually starts probably like 5:30, 6 o'clock. Cardio's usually wrapped up by 7ish, and then we're into the first meal, and we usually start work at 8. That usually doesn't finish till 7 p.m, 8 p.m. sometimes. We've got a training day today, so we've got a pull session. And we're going to show you how the business operates. We're going to show you how I schedule my calendar, which I've done in previous videos, but things change, and what a true day in the life is in sunny old Rotherham. You get into the worst side of the 20s now, so cleanser every morning, followed by that, brush your teeth, leave it to set for 2 minutes, SPF moisturiser, won't catch me with no wrinkles. Morning mate, hope you're well, thank you for your checking. Visuals are really sharp, but despite the visuals being sharp, sleep is a big hindrance at the minute. The vascularity is phenomenal, but I really want like this area right here crispy. And that's just where you're hanging on to it, around these hips, the midsection. I want to check in Wednesday, I want to check in Thursday, I want to check in Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we repeat that right until the shoot now. Daily communication to manage this and pull this shoot off to get you in the best shape of your life is absolutely critical. Sharp start for check-ins. So morning routine has to be absolutely on the button because my day is planned hour by hour, minute by minute. So typically what happens and how I run the business now that I'm back in the UK is all check-ins are done by typically 1 o'clock. So they have all morning to check in. Deadline is 11 a.m. and then their check-in is delivered by 1 p.m. that same day. So within a few hours, if it's late, it will come back the following morning. But a lot of the lads are very much on the button there, so you get feedback within a few hours. We then will head out for some steps pre-gym just to accumulate a few, because despite being up now, what is 3 hours, I've only done 636 steps and I've got 10k to hit, so I get a little bit of vitamin D. Usually there's a few check-ins that will fall into the evening, which you'll see. We'll train at 1:30 every single day, apart from rest days, and then usually hit some posing after for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Back here post-workout, and then we're into an evening block, which usually starts at like 4:30 till 7. And that consists of business consultations, which I'm now doing. So I'm giving people advice on their business. They will pay for that hour for my time to help and scale their business from a coaching standpoint. And then any additional consultations. But with me being on prep at the minute, I'm limiting consultation days to 3 a week. And the team are stepping in at New Gen just to handle the majority of the new leads coming in, unless somebody specifies they directly want to work with me. So the calendar and the organisation of your calendar within a full day of an online coach is very, very critical. I have set times to do set tasks. If a check-in comes in late, that's not my issue, it's a client's issue. That gets done the next day, because my energy now is so important on this prep, but my energy for the clients who are checking in is very, very important, and the most important priority task that I have. So getting this delivered to them now when I have the most energy pre-training is the best way to manage this and make sure standards are above board as always. Then we train, kick the shit out of myself, and then into consultations and business consults and tie up any loose ends. But I always like to have a little list every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's only a small list today, it's quite a light workload. But yeah, I think it's important you see how I structure my day, because to really work and operate at the top, you've got to be faultless. By your standards, mate, obviously we've been working together 9 weeks. 8 weeks of those check-ins have been absolutely perfect. This one, you have dropped the standards. I appreciate social calendar has been busy, but Sunday we have taken the piss a little bit. So we just need to strap back in, and then we've got 2 weeks here to refine the process, refine the physique, and get you holiday ready. The thing is, I actually don't think you quite realise your potential. Like, we've seen you post-workout before, but as you've got further and more progressive throughout this dieting phase, the amount of tissue that you have, the symmetry and the proportions and the flow to your physique is fucking nuts, mate. Let's not let things slide. Let's make sure the standards really meet the requirements. It's been a shit week, but we go again. The standards will realign this week. The tone is set. You meet them and you deliver against them. And I'll catch you at next week's check-in. Is I can map out the full 12 month, essentially sensitive to the insulin, and keep you partitioning the nutrients and can extend that. And mate, I think there's a lot of value in you spending a sufficient amount of time in an improvement phase. This is why I get my mum and stepdad to walk him. Charlie! Useless man. So I'm a massive creature of routine, so we're just getting steps in now. We've hit 2,500. So I like to get to the gym on around 3,000, leave the gym on around 6, leaving me probably with another short walk like this later on in the evening, which you'll see. But when you're in prep, but also when you're trying to run a business, the routine's just got to be faultless. Like, you can't miss. So we're literally 15 minutes late for this walk, which means now I should have been eating my meal 5 minutes ago, and I just got a reminder on my calendar. Even the meal timings of when I eat my meals are in the calendar. Every minute, primarily of every day, is actioned with a deliverable, and that means I don't slip for the clients, but I also don't slip on prep, and I don't slip for the business. Fucking my mate, eh? Listen to me fucking no times. Oi! Not going to be much talking throughout this training session, because this is one session that I love within my training, and this is why I truly believe my back's developed at the rate that it has. We're going to do a full YouTube on it. I hit 2 back days and I split the muscle groups for each of those days. This is primarily the lat bias with a little bit of upper back, and Kyle is 3 weeks out, so I need to be spotting him. But we're going to do a big video on this, on how I grew my back at the rate that I did.
So it's pretty impressive. Apparent now that I am running flat, because third exercise in, no real pump, just feel flat as fuck. My back's got a little bit of a pump, but just generally feel flat throughout, which means I'm in new territory, and I'm in great territory for fat loss, but it's never the most enjoyable process. If you flip that on its head, when you peak off season eating 5,500 calories and you're blown to fuck in the gym, it's not quite the same feeling.
Now I'm at that terrible stage in the day where I just want to have a nap. I've just had my post-workout and I want a nap and just to chill for the rest of the evening, but we have got a few calls. So this is where the caffeine intake probably surpasses 1,000. But needs musts on prep. I need to get off this and start some work again soon. The afternoon/evening block is about to commence at 5 o'clock. We've got calls till 7:15. We've got a couple of check-ins to get back to that were overran. So it's looking like a late one, but it always is. We'll hustle it out, we'll grind it out. We're thankful to be in the position that we are. Nothing's a chore. It's always a pleasure. Where a lot of people go wrong is they don't sharpen that blade in that off season. The actions drop off, and if you really treat your off season like you would treat a prep, a dieting phase, and you're as meticulous with your nutrition, you're as meticulous with your planning, you're as meticulous with your meal timing and your training, then you're going to build a sufficient amount of tissue, right? It's up to me now to really put you into a position where we can get the job done and get it done in a manner that we are not moving away from that phase plan. We've implemented the phase plan, so we adhere to it. Then once we've got the data, we can of course enjoy more balance, one off-plan meal a week, a little bit more flexibility. But now it's about me putting the hammer down and saying, right, let's strap the fuck in and let's go again, okay? Any questions, let me know. End of phase call with Omar, so just finished a 20-week diet, looks incredible. So with every client, what I like to do once they finish a phase is review the phase. Did we do everything how we should have done it? Did we complete within the timeframes? Lessons learned, if there are any, and then plan the next phase. Something that I've implemented with all clients now is phase planning. so they know exactly what they're doing within each week, within each month, across the course of the 12 months. And it's why the results are so good at the minute, because we've just gone extra data driven, and within that phase plan is data. So any adjustment that we have within nutrition, within training is tracked. So if we revisit that in 12 months and we say, oh well, actually we saw sufficient growth in the last improvement phase from June to December of 2023, and we revisit that to have another improvement phase, we have that data applicable to then apply, and we can reapply that. So yeah, if you're not phase planning as a coach and you're not close to the detail in terms of data that drive decisions, get phase planning implemented. But big catch-up call with Omo, one consult call with a new client, and that's it. Little diet drink to tie me over, as I am flagging, it's 6:30 now. But we bring the vibes, don't we, for the client, so there's none of that bullshit that I'm tired. You guys just see the real and the raw, but for me it's about pulling a brave face now, and you'll see that on the call. This next 4 weeks is so important now that you get right, because this is a reverse phase, and for me the reverse phase is about data. It's about application by yourself, high levels of adherence, so that I can then transition you from this deficit into an off season, into the off season, and do it with the data that's going to drive the decisions by accuracy from yourself. And then after that, bro, we can have a little bit more of a, like, you're not a bodybuilder, like one-off planned meal a week, nice little bit of downtime with family and friends, and just, mate, if you need to go out a couple of times, like I know you do enjoy the social, and we'll grab a beer when I'm off this diet and when I'm back in Dubai, and like there's that element to enjoy life a little bit. But the most important thing is keeping you sensitive to the insulin. The minute that's slack, the minute that starts to drop off and we start to hold fat in a position where the hips are fluffy, the midsection is, we'll need to diet back down, and you don't have to get uncomfortable like I did. Like I was chasing a pro card, mate. Like you don't have to go to them extremes, and I'm not going to treat you like I treat myself. You're on your own individual journey. I know exactly what your goals are and what you require to get to where you need to get to. Proud of you, mate. Good work. Take care. Enjoy your evening. Thanks for jumping on. See you later, bro. See you soon. Bye bye. Douche. Job done. Final consult going in now. Gonna see if this client can jump on early. Business call wrapped up as well earlier, so just giving advice on online coaching businesses who are starting out, but also experienced individuals as well who have been in the game years and now coming to me for advice, which is a huge compliment, and never did think I'd be in this position. But this is why I put videos out like this, to hopefully give insight to coaches, give insight to people how to structure your day. As you can see, it's 10 to 7 now, so we're 10 hours, we're 12 hours on the grind. This is what it's all about. As I've said numerous times, input equals output with anything, whether that's your training, whether that's your career. You've got to put the work in. Nobody else is going to do that for you. So big potential with this client here. Omar there just wrapped up an absolutely stupidly good dieting phase. In fact, I'll show you. Get over here. So this was Omar 20 weeks ago. No real gym experience to now completely boxed off. Enters his reverse phase. We need more muscle everywhere, so that's going to be the main focus. But completely different person here from that guy to that guy. And the reason he's achieved that is because he's done everything that I've asked. He's a client over in the UAE, so I'm looking forward to having a beer with him when we get back and prep's done, and then hopefully a gym session. But yeah, big up Omar, well done, and look at these. These are the shots, just to see how far he's come from where he was. Completely different individual, so it's very pleasing to see an individual not just develop from a visual standpoint, but mentally he's a different person. Look at that smile in comparison to his face here. That's physique development and lifestyle change. So final call, let's go and change another individual's life. If you want to know how I'm looking with a pump on, someone put a comment that actually made me laugh. It's looking long for everyone else. If you're competing 30th September, catch up. As you see those time frames to improve your body composition, your actions are going to match those time frames, because you're going to think, well, if I actually don't achieve this within 10 to 12 weeks, I'm not going to be able to get into the improvement phase. We don't want to drag you too lean to a position where it's harder to reverse you out from a health perspective and a hormonal panel perspective, because the lower you get from a body fat perspective, what that's going to lead to is more problems in terms of dragging your test levels down as a byproduct, the hormonal panel being a little bit flatlined. So in order to get that right, mate, was a lot of work with a chiropractor, realigning those essential fibers, but also realigning that neurological pathway from the brain to the muscles to send the signals again, and releasing and removing that trauma. The further I drag you through each phase, the more you learn about yourself, the more you can apply to your own coaching. Second to final meal now, no carbs. So we've just got off a long day to be greeted by no carbs. But I saved my big serving of potatoes, which is 500 grams for my final meal before bed to keep me nice and full. But we're gonna wrap it up here. We've got another 4 check-ins to do, just with clients who were slightly over the deadline today, so I'll get them the feedback. And then, this is the reality of prep. I've got 3,000 steps to find, so these 4 check-ins will probably take the next 60 minutes. I'll eat this, let it digest, and then I'll get out to hit my steps. The day will be wrapped up by 9 o'clock, shower, 9:30, bed at 10. That's the reality. So, I'm smiling because I love it. But it's just about being smart with energy now. Making sure that I eat some food before I go into another work block, so I've got the energy to deliver for these clients, which I will have. It's all smiles, it's another week down in prep. I'm happy with how I'm looking. There's plenty more content coming that's going to be physique based and training based, because that's only going to go downhill, so I need to have the camera behind me to keep that intensity up. But we're not leaving anything to chance. You can see how serious I take cardio, the sweat that I get. You can see how hard I'm training. You can see that I'm not missing a beat, and standards are not dropping across the board, whether that's physique development or business. So whatever else you want to see from the series, do shout up. If you want an insight in terms of how the split's looking, if you want an insight further into business, let me know. But shit's getting real now. Next video we will be 4 weeks out, so the hard work should almost be done. Fat loss will be done by the 11th of September, and then we'll be practicing and trialing refeeds. So strap in, and I'll see you in the next one.